guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Mail. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy. He's 36 years old, divorced, very, very happily single. And he shares his story how after years of his own personal experiences and everything we talk about in this channel, watching the channel, his sister, 2 years ago, the two of them had a falling out over her now ex-boyfriend. You're going to see that the sister screwed up what was a very good relationship for a classic scenario that happens often in this channel. I'm not going to say what. You guys can all speculate. And the guy kicked her to the curb. And guess what? Our guy telling the story here took his side. And of course, he's the big villain in his sister's eyes as well as his mom. And this guy's now wondering, did he do the right thing by, obviously not siding with the guy, but also having nothing to do with his sister as well as having a fallout with his mother. That'll be a very good one to go over here, guys, just to show you that, again, reminding how these things happen. And when women do certain... I'm going to keep it quiet as to what happens here, what she does to screw this relationship up. But again, when things like that are pulled, it's best to handle it accordingly. You get my drift. As well as in life, guys, life is short. And if you got family, friends, or family members even, that just are people with no integrity, just low lives, and you decide you don't want them in your life, you know what? It's your business. Because as the saying goes, we're the average of the 5 people I spend the most time with, they're going to rub off on you. And also by you knowing that they are very sleazy people, if you will, but that's a good way to say it, and allow it, that allows them to keep on going like they think it's okay. So at the end of the day, if you're a grown-ass man, you take care of your life, you have your job, you pay your bills, and you want to live your life by a certain code, and people don't like it, the hell with them. But anyhow, guys, this is a good story, and I think you'll appreciate more as we get into it. It says, "Hey, SSN. You can call me Greg, and I'm happily single after a terrible marriage and divorce in my mid-20s. I'm 36 now, no kids, and between my own experiences and those of my closest friends, I can't think of a single benefit of getting married these days. Welcome to the club, brother. Even though my mom is still bugging me about not giving her any grandkids, she's reluctantly accepted my position. Not because she believes I'm right, but because she knows she doesn't have any say in the matter. She doesn't have any say in the matter. And again, welcome to the club of the mothers out there badgering their sons for not giving them grandkids. This I know quite well. I was going to include the story of my ex-wife, but after watching so many of your videos, the lessons learned would only be a repeat of what you said nearly 100 times over. Married too young, too soon, too trusting, and got bit in the ass by the court system after divorcing her for cheating. Actually, I'm not even certain you'll find any value in what I wanted to write in about, but it never hurts to send it in. If you find it useful, great. If not, no hard feelings. There's always value in everything. And even though I've been saying the same thing hundreds of times, actually more like thousands of times, we got to hear things over and over again for that to sink in, I have a few friends who also are avid viewers of your channel, and they may figure out it's me sending them the story, but I'll try to keep it as much identifying information out of the story, and please don't share my real name or email. Bro, your secret's safe with me. Guys, I will never reveal your personal info, but when you write in stories, guys, I'm going to advise you to use code names for you and all the people in the story. Don't specifically say who you work for, where you work, just change those around, and I won't reveal anything, I promise. I'm not going to include where I work or any of that, but I do make a decent salary, just under 6 figures. I live by myself, my own rules, and while there have been some girlfriends since my divorce at 25 years old, I've yet to meet a woman I would trust with my bank account. There ain't no woman out there I trust with my bank account, no fucking way. I have no idea if it's good or bad, but there are plenty of women out there who like to have fun, but none of them are worth more than that to me. As they say, the streets are always calling, and too many of these ladies are more than willing to answer. I've made it clear for a long time, guys, and I stand by this. There are some good gals out there. There are. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but sadly, it's become rarer and rarer. But still, there ain't no woman I'm going to trust in my bank account, or brokerage account, or retirement accounts, or anything like that. I says, okay, enough ranting from me. The story I wanted to share is about a conversation I have with my mom and my younger sister, Angela, who's 33, about 2 years ago, when she was 31, and had been in a 6-year relationship with a guy that I really liked. For the story, I will call him Brad. He was 32 at the time. It's actually funny how I met Brad. My grandfather had passed away, may he rest in peace, And while he didn't have much, he left me his truck and a Ford F-100 in his will. I can remember him driving us around on the farm and holding on for dear life in the bed as a kid. It was in pretty bad shape when I got it out of the barn, but I decided I wanted to restore it, if for nothing else but the memories. That was around 2015. That was when I met Brad. He was a metal worker at a machine shop, but he did welding as a side gig. It was a friend of a friend who recommended him, and his work was fantastic. Well, that's cool that you kept Grandpa's truck and restored it. Yeah, a lot of good memories. My godfather used to drive me in the back of his truck. My family, my mom's family, my grandparents bought a ton of property back in the 40s in Pennsylvania. They were living in New York City at the time, and that is eventually where they all settled. And so when I was a kid in the summertime visiting family in Pennsylvania, because I grew up in California, my uncle would have me in the back of his big truck too, driving around the field. I'm in the back of the fucking truck, ready to go flying out of there, you know. I know what you're talking about. That was when my sister met him, and unbeknownst to me, they started dating during that time. It was actually a few months after the truck was restored that I found out they were dating, and I was happy for my sister. Brad's one of those guys who's competent and great at what he does, but he's as humble as the day is long, and my sister seemed to really like him. Keyword seemed, huh? He didn't have a college education, but he made a great living fabricating metal and welding. All in all, I have and still do have a lot of respect for him. Fast forward to around May of 2022 is when it all fell apart. I know I haven't mentioned my dad yet, mostly because he's never been around. I don't know if my mom cheated on him or vice versa, but what I do know is that since I was 7 years old, he was gone. Mom did her best raising my sister and me, and other than some lingering questions I know I'll never get any real answers to, I don't have any complaints from my childhood. Hell, I have no idea if he's even alive, but it doesn't matter anymore. You never know, man. Your dad could have been the biggest a-hole in the world, and your mom had a genuine reason to end it with him and take care of you and your sister. Or your mom drove him away, and you know who knows what tactics she used to keep him away. You just don't know. You can never leave your life. You can never leave your wife, but abandoning your children is unforgivable. I do agree with that, but I still have to wonder if maybe, given how I know this story goes, if your mom had something to do with that. Who knows? I'm sure there are some folks who are going to say he's probably not your dad, and to them I would say that Ancestry DNA Kits says that I am, considering I'm still in contact with grandparents and cousins from that side of the family. Oh, okay. Nobody has mentioned my dad, and I haven't, enough said. Well, in that case, then, if you're in touch with that side, his side of the family, and it seems like he's away, and yet you didn't get any inkling that there was, bullshit from your mom or whatever, that he just truly left, then okay, then you have good reason to obviously have issue with your dad. So it was around 2022 when I was visiting my mom one weekend when I found my sister and mom talking in the kitchen, and from the tears on my sister's face, I knew it wasn't a happy conversation. Let me be clear, I love my sister like any brother should love their sister. I was her older brother, defending her honor when she was in high school and in general wanted her to be happy. I immediately asked what was wrong, and she blew my mind. Okay, now listen to this. It occurred to me, I say that a lot. Now listen to this. I should have named the fucking channel, Now Listen to This, or something like that. She said that Brad broke up with her and kicked her out between fits of crying. Oh, she's going on full-on Tuscan Raider, huh? You can't quite understand what the fuck she's saying, huh? I knew Brad. I knew him for a long time, and I respected him. From what I could tell, he was in line to be my brother-in-law, and I'll admit that I was happy about that. He's a good man, and I'm fairly sure that most of your viewers will understand how I'm going to describe him. He was that guy who was so humble in his general attitude that there are some people who consider him soft. Aha. Far from the truth. From what I knew about him, he's that guy who will put up with a lot, but once you cross that line, you'd be better off if you just invited a serial Killer to breakfast. He didn't make emotional decisions, and from what I could tell, he didn't make decisions lightly. To hear that he broke up with my sister and kicked her out immediately told me she did something, and I asked her what she did. Okay, yeah, so Brad, from all accounts, seems like a real stand-up guy, and once you cross him, that's it. And probably not the type of guy that would easily just kick out a girl, unless she did something big-time bad, really, really screwed up. That sounded around, and my sister sobbing and my mom scowling at me until I told her that it didn't make any sense unless Angela did something. I swear I hate watching women cry. Sometimes I think they only do it to give them some time to come up with a credible lie, but who knows? Ding, ding, ding. There you go. That's exactly part of it, or to make you feel bad. It's kind of like when the media might ask a politician who's running for higher office or something a question, or in an interview, and instead of answering the question, they'll just start talking until you forget what the fuck you asked them. Or so they talk while they think of something to respond to it in a way that doesn't piss off too many people, voters, backers, that type of thing. I've never been a very patient person. There were only two potential endings to this. Either I was going to hurt Brad for hurting my sister, or she did something stupid, and all I could do was accept that she was an idiot. Surprise, she's an idiot. There was a lot more in the kitchen, but after about an hour of not getting any answers, I told her unless she told me what was going on, I was going to pay Brad a visit and find out what was going on. She finally told me what happened, and I would bet every dollar that I ever make for the rest of my life that not one of your viewers will be surprised. Okay, guys, here's the time to place your bets in the comment section. What'd she do? What did she do to drive this guy to kick her out on the spot? You know, what could she have told him, revealed about herself, suggested? You know, we can have, shocking him with high body count numbers, or that she's doing OnlyFans, or she's been cheating, or she likes girls instead of guys, open relationships. Take your pick. Put it in the comment section and we'll see where this goes. I guess they were talking about marriage and life when my dumbass sister brought up the idea of modern relationships. When he asked her what she was talking about, she suggested that they could explore, or wait for it, open relationship. Okay, 50 points for those of you that picked that one. Then she said, all I did was ask him a question and he blew up at her and kicked her out after showing her the ring that he bought for her. Oh, poor her. Look, lady, you're dating this guy for a long time. He's great to you. And now he's obviously you're talking about the future and all that type of thing, and you bring up this modern relationship crap upon the conversation of marriage, and that you want to have an open relationship to go hook up with other dudes. Yeah, gee, surprise, surprise, he wants to kick you out. Doesn't sound like you love him a whole lot. Doesn't sound like you've been probably very faithful, and he has to question probably every moment you were together. Good for him for kicking her ass out. And oh, by the way, here's the ring I was going to give you. F you. She said he wouldn't even listen, and she couldn't understand why he got so angry for just asking a question. Bullshit. If the girl's bringing it up, either she already has someone in mind, or she's already cheating. It's over. No girl who truly loves their guy wants to open the relationship and go hook up with other people. Only a gal that sees her guy is so nice and never going anywhere, and thinks she has all the leverage is going to pull that kind of crap. She said that he didn't even want to do that. She would have been fine and would have never brought it up again, but he didn't give her a chance to say anything before he threw her out. Of course, my mom added her 2 cents, but I understood exactly what was going on. Well, sadly, you've been through a lot of BS, so you know, and you've been watching this channel. My sister asked if I would go talk to him and explain how he was being unreasonable, and I told her no. Good for you, man. I guess she's your sister. I guess she's your blood. Well, we hope so. But as the saying goes, bros before hoes. You know Brad's a great guy, and you know your sister, well, this is proving. He was right to throw you out, and I wish you had enough presence of mind to have my camera ready. Because the looks on both my mom and sister's faces would have earned me a spot in the Louvre for fine art. They were completely shocked. Of course, that set off another round of my sister bawling and mom yelling at me to stop being so inconsiderate. Oh, for God's sakes. So, pretty much, in their view, they can act like the biggest a-holes in the world, but that's all okay if there's a lot of crying and blubbering and whining and going on. Oh, okay. When everything calmed down a bit, I asked Angela to tell me exactly what happened. She said they were having dinner, and she said her friends had been telling her how great open relationships could be, and convinced her and she and Brad would be much happier if they could share that part of their lives with other people. So, blame it on the friends, huh? See, you can set your watch to this shit. Here's a question. her friends, her SLUTTY friends, are they very happy with their lives, their relationships? Maybe they're jealous of her. Maybe they're jealous that she's got a great guy with Brad, great thing going, and they want to sabotage it. It's not the first time that happened. Or maybe they're upset that one of their wing girls is going to be off the mark, is going to be taken, so, they want to fuck that up. Again, as Al Bundy once said, never try to understand women. Women understand women. They hit each other. Anyhow, says here, while still having each other to rely upon, and my dumbass sister bought into the hook, line, and sinker. Well, that's what she said. It's possible that they didn't say anything to her. I couldn't help it, mostly because I've seen too many of these stories for it not to be a fact. I asked her who was she already talking to or sleeping with, and that made my mom get angry as hell. Angela was swearing that there wasn't anyone else, and it was just a question. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. I told her she needed to find better friends if she ever wants to be happy, but she can't blame her friends for a decision that she made. Good for you, man. Now, how do you think she's going to take it by him holding her accountable for screwing this whole thing up? I said, you told me it was just a question. I don't understand why he's so angry. I told her what he heard was a statement. You're not enough for me anymore, and I don't love or respect you. My mom started to try to argue, but I shut them both down, and I guess mansplained reality to them. Uh-oh. You're the devil incarnate now for mansplaining. I asked my mom if she loved me, and she, of course, said that she did. I nodded and asked her if that I spent 6 years with a woman that you knew, that I was serious about, and I was close to proposing, and a woman I wanted to make a life with and whom I wanted to have children with, how would you react if that woman suggested that we open our relationship so she could sleep with every Tom, Dick, and Harry on the street? But that I would still be expected to bust my tail at work and provide for that person. There you go. That sums it up just about right. Then years down the road, that woman decides that she was in love with one of those guys she was sleeping with while I was at home doing all the hard work in the marriage, so she would divorce me where I would be forced by the courts to surrender half of everything that I worked for. Would she be okay with that? At first she tried to say that it wouldn't turn out like that. How many divorced guys are listening to this and just heard that line from mom? It wouldn't turn out like that. Bullshit. But I told her that was the reason I wasn't interested in marriage or kids, because women today are selfish and there aren't any consequences for them. But men are expected to just shut up and accept being treated like cattle. Pretty much. And the only thing you said that I disagree with is the part that women today are selfish. Newsflash. I mean, I don't mean disrespect, but it was the same shit 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, or longer. But we just didn't have ways for more people to know this is a reality. So I told my sister that she's an idiot because Brad would have given her a good life, but she had let her WHORE friends convince her to cheat on the guy she claimed to love. I told Angela, I love you, sis, but I pray that no man is ever stupid enough to put a ring on your finger, because I feel nothing but sympathy for the poor sap that goes down that road. Whew, ouch. But she had to hear this. Then I left them with one thought before leaving. I told them both that women keep women single, and I was glad that Brad dumped her ass because there was no way that she wasn't already cheating on him, and I left both of them speechless when I left. Man, good for you. You let principle come before, the family ties. Your sister's an asshole. And I don't even want to think about your mom's history, but the way your mom's defending her and all that. That was 2 years ago. My sister hasn't said 2 words to me since, but my mom is still trying to reconnect with me. Hey, that saves you a stamp and the money you spend on a Christmas card, and also for her birthday and everything, not having to deal with her. Life is better when you have less assholes in your life you got to deal with. I told my mom that as long as you support Angela cheating on a great guy, we have nothing else to talk about. I told her that I love and appreciate her as my mom, but I wasn't a little kid anymore, and if she was willing to accept that behavior from one of her kids, I don't want anything to do with her, because on the off chance that I had kids of my own, I was terrified she would be a bad influence on them. All right, imagine if you had a daughter, and she's hanging around your sister and your mom and their attitudes on things, the way they rub off on her. I'd love to say that was the end of it, but for the last 2 years, I've had to listen to relatives telling me that I'm an a-hole for treating my mother like that. And I don't care. Your job as a parent is to give guidance. You're not your kids' friends. They have enough friends. When they need that, what they need is Jiminy Cricket on their shoulder telling them when they're acting like an idiot. I agree. You know, I mean, think about it. Any animal in the wild, you watch the mama bird with the baby birds, mama's teaching them how to fucking eat worms and fly, or you're watching mama cheetah teaching her little cubs how to hunt and run their asses off in the savannah. You get the point. To prepare for the world, not to be their best buddy. I'm not saying parents should be assholes. It would be nice if they can prepare them for the world and be friendly to them, but preparing them for real life comes first. My dad, my World War II veteran, lived through Great Depression. Believe me, he wasn't interested in being my best friend. He was interested in raising me for the world. And believe me, at times when I was a teenager, I resented the fuck out of that. But looking back, once I grew up, I understood why. Yeah, it was old school. And for those of you that are new, I'm from a second marriage. My dad was married first after World War II. Did the thing, popped out 5 kids with his first wife, like right after the war, kid you not, because that's just what they did. Didn't work out too well. Was single for a while, met my mom. I think on the first date, she was 21 years old, and he was like 43, 44, something like that. Yeah, my dad was a Chad. A Marine Dr. Chad. Just from word of mouth, I heard my sister got into another relationship 3 weeks after Brad kicked her out, and that lasted almost 6 months before they broke up. A new relationship 3 weeks after Brad broke up with her? That's probably the guy she was cheating with, and guess what? Didn't work out. I'm not sure why, but I don't really care anymore, or don't really care at all. The one thing I do know is that all her closest friends were complete sluts in school, and nothing changed when they turned into adults. It doesn't change. And when they're all a bunch of grannies in the old folks' home, they're going to be sleeping with the other guys that are single. As for Brad, we still hang out from time to time, and he has a new lady in his life that seems to be going well. I shared your channel with him, and sometimes we talk about some of the stories. Personally, I just can't imagine putting in all the work for a relationship when there isn't any definable benefit. I guess I'm what you guys call broken or the old age who hurt you. In any case, I don't care if it's family or friends. You are who you associate with. Exactly. It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you said your sister, all her friends that she hangs out with, she knew back in school, and they're a bunch of, in your description, a bunch of sluts, well, is any surprise? So maybe it's not so much a surprise or out of the question they brought up the whole open relationship thing, because probably that's what they're doing too. Or they want to sabotage what she had because they can see Brad's a great guy. But the good thing about this story is Brad got rid of her. So shout out to Brad. If Brad, you're watching, awesome. We welcome you here to the channel, as well as all your other friends who watch the channel. And as for you, bro, you said that you got divorced in your 20s and it was really bad. You made a lot of mistakes. Send your story in. You know, we'd love to hear about that. We need to hear these stories over and over again because it helps us out. And guys, if you want to hear this guy's story, definitely let him know in the comment section, and I guarantee you, he'll do it at some point. But bro, if you're not talking to your sister, I don't blame you. She's a fucking asshole, you know. And as for your mom defending her, that's your own choice too, you know. But if your family's giving you a hard time, remember, at the end of the day, you're in your mid-30s. You're a grown-ass man. Do you pay your own bills? Yes. Do you have your own place that you're taking, your own house, your own condo, or even if you don't, you're taking care of your own life? It's your life. They don't like you? Tough shit. End of story. And by you either saying that directly or through your actions, they may not like it, but they'll at least respect you. As to some guy that can just push around everything like that. You know, at the end of the day, you know, and I'm sure your life is you're enjoying the peace and quiet. Better to have a couple people in your life that are good people, loyal, honorable, have your back, than a whole ton of people that, you know, flip a coin as to how it's going to go. It's not worth it, you know. Life's too short. But anyhow, bro, good story here. Keep on trucking. And again, think about sending that story in about your situation from your divorce 10 years ago. Maybe a little embarrassing, but don't worry about it. A lot of guys have sent in stories very embarrassing, and it really has helped them and other people. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.